everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Talking with Our Traders, a Caesar Sportsbook original series. This is where we sit down with our very own Caesar Sportsbook traders and dive deep into everything NFL and college football. Whether you're looking for insider insights or just want to hear what the pros have to say, you've come to the right place. Let's get into it. I'm your host, Cindy Edwards, and with me today, as always, is Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesar Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And Joey Fiesel, Head of Football here at Caesars.
Hello.
Okay, guys, let's dive into some college football. Who do you think will make the college football playoff, Joey?
Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Clemson, because I think they beat SMU, Indiana, and because I think it's going to be a closer game with SMU, I think SMU still gets in. Iowa State, UNLV for my 12.
Craig.
I'm not going to disagree, but
All right.
I think if Penn State gets beat, which I expect them to, I think they lose out and you push one of the SEC teams in. But I've got a suggestion how to fix this college football playoff scenario.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
I'm excited.
Okay. As a tiebreaker, so the Big 12 Commission came out and says they prefer logos over resumes, which is a good line. Everybody's trying to promote their teams.
Yeah.
Was it Lane Kiffin that went berserk
Did,
Yeah.
in the week?
We
right?
give a whole...
Yep.
So here's the suggestion to fix this. Use betting lines as a tiebreaker. So Ole Miss lost 3 games as a 4-point favorite, a 13-point favorite, and a 15.5-point favorite. So that's 32.5 points. South Carolina lost as a 21-point dog, a 6-point dog, and a 10-point dog. Lost to both Ole Miss and Alabama, so forget it. Alabama lost as a 23.5-point favorite, a 14-point favorite, and a 3.5-point favorite. Therefore, Ole Miss should be above Alabama because when they expected to lose, when they were expected to win, and they lost, it was not as bad as what Alabama's losses were.
And it's funny to see Lane Kiffin come out and do that because it's the same thing that we're seeing at the beginning part of the year. He's scoring points regardless because he wants to have that point differential.
Exactly.
But like, look, but even though that's manufactured, it doesn't mean you're that much better. It just means your starters are in for longer.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild. I mean,
It's a strategy.
We know there's going to be the thumb on the scale for Alabama. You know, this is just Alabama's been there, and they're going to compete. Even last year with Michigan, they competed up until the very end. So you want to see the close game as opposed to putting in a lesser than. Like if a Florida State went in last year, we knew they were going to get blown out. They got blown out every game this year. So
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, from a sportsbook's perspective, we'd prefer Alabama in because it brings that
more action.
The
Yeah.
action.
money.
Yeah,
For sure. No, I like it. Okay, will Indiana be favored against any team in the college football playoff?
Unlikely because just how they're going to play. Like
Right.
the only time they would be a favorite is if they played Boise, but being that 10 or 9 seed, it's unlikely for that to happen. So yeah, I'm going to say unlikely.
I had only if they play UNLV.
Yeah, and that won't. Yeah,
That might not happen.
I like it.
Crazy could happen. Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some game totals. Favorite week 15 game for the total to go under? Craig, start us off.
Unfortunately, I can't dip in the well on the weather because a lot of these games are indoors, and the ones that are outdoors, there's no weather. So I'm going to go Clemson SMU, which, I know.
That's brave.
I think Clemson's key to winning the game is keeping SMU's offense off the field.
Yeah.
They're 3-8 to the under on main board games this year, so I think it'll be ball control, keep it away from SMU's offense. So I mean, it's a reach, but it's my pick.
Yeah, that's certainly the game plan that Clemson wants to have going in. I went Army Tulane. I believe it'll go under. Being at Army, it's going to be colder. Those Louisiana boys aren't going to be used to that, and that's going to be Army's game plan too. Is kind of holding that ball. Any service academy does. They're still going to try to drive down the field and keep the ball away from Tulane. It's already gone down. It was 47.5 early in the week. It's now 45, but I'll still take the under.
Yeah, it's very cold there.
Yeah. All right, favorite week 15 game for the total to go over? Craig?
I'm going to go indoors because we got it last week, didn't we? And I think Georgia layeth the smack of down on Texas, and that one goes over.
I might agree with you there.
The same one I went with. It's just that, Georgia does not want that first time in the SEC conference. So
Yeah.
All right, which team is on upset alert? Other than that one, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, that was just too easy to pick, isn't it? There's no data this week, so I'm actually having to pick an opinion, and my opinion stinks. So I'm going to go with UNLV over Boise But one of the geniuses in the background thinks Miami, Ohio is the upset.
Ooh.
I went with Texas on upset alert in the
Yep.
SEC championship game with Georgia, but
It's a
that's
2.5
just
point favorite. Doesn't count.
they're all close.
Yeah.
It counts. I might be tailing that later on. Okay, let's get into some game previews. We have the SEC Championship, Georgia Bulldogs versus the Texas Longhorns, which you both called as your favorite game for an upset, and then also the over. Break it down for us.
So round 2 of this matchup this year with Georgia, Texas facing off in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. So kind of like a pseudo home game for Georgia, but
Yeah.
Texas is certainly going to travel for this one. Line opened up Texas -1, got all the way up to Texas -3. Now we're seeing start heading back down where it's kind of hanging around 2.5. Georgia has certainly had their ups and downs this season, but don't want to lose 2 SEC titles in a row, and especially to a new team in the conference. Both these teams are safely in the playoffs at this point, regardless of the result. I like this game to go over, and I like the Bulldogs to put a smack down again and gain that SEC title back.
Yeah, this is
like it.
welcome to the SEC. This
Right.
is our title. This is our backyard. I mean, it's not at Georgia's home ground, but
Yeah.
it's in Georgia.
It's in Georgia.
I do think whoever wins this game is the outright favourite for the. I'm not telling Joey how to do his job, but I think
It's
they
likely.
become favourite.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. Okay, Big Ten Championship, Oregon versus Penn State. Craig, break it down for us.
We're getting into bowl season, so I was going to nickname this the Easy Schedule Championship because neither of them have played anybody outside of Ohio State.
Right.
Penn lost by a touchdown,
Yeah.
and Oregon beat them by a point, and with some clever trickery on penalty at the end. I mean, I think this matters more to Penn State than it does to Oregon because Oregon are in regardless. I kind of feel if Penn State loses, they might get thrown out.
The boot.
Yeah.
Joey?
I think they'll probably still stay safe just because of it'll be just 2 losses and you made it to the championship game. But yeah, this is 2 fresh faces in the Big Ten title game where we're not seeing a Michigan or Ohio State, which is new. Last time Penn State was in the Big Ten title game, it was 2016. They beat Wisconsin's 38-31 after being down 3 touchdowns. Could history repeat itself? Surely it could. But, Penn State and James Franklin certainly want this championship badly, and it's really just been a knock on Franklin that he can't win big games. So they want to come in swinging. The line has head that way. It's opened up 4.5. Now it's at 3.5. Even kind of leaning towards 3. I do like Oregon here just because I still think that in big games, I don't think Penn State can get it done. It's going to be a fun game and probably a back and forth and really 2 talented teams. And I think they will still be 2 playoff teams regardless of result.
All right. Next up, ACC Championship, SMU versus Clemson. Joey, what should we expect?
Another familiar face in the ACC title game with Clemson, another team that was certainly expected to be in this game, but not necessarily against the opponent.
Right.
The opponent, another newcomer to the conference, SMU. Not really close to the Atlantic Coast, but they're in the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship. SMU had a slow start to the season, lost early on, almost losing to Nevada in the first week as a 28-point favorite, but they haven't looked back since. It's a very high-powered offense. They want to play fast, which is why Clemson is going to want to slow them down. I think Clemson gets it done, just having played in bigger games like this, and they've been quietly, they've had a couple losses along the way, but that doesn't necessarily kick you out anymore. So I think Clemson gets it done in this spot.
Yeah, I agree. I just think Clemson's experience is the deciding
The
factor
key.
here. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's switch gears and dive into NFL Week 14. Please break down the MVP race between Saquon and Josh Allen.
So Josh Allen continues to have his MVP moments week in and week out. He had the 4th and 2 touchdown to the improvised hook and ladder passing and receiving touchdown in one play, which is why we see, no surprise, him hitting the minus money category as he pushes towards the end of this year. Saquon as well, playing at the top of the game on a top team. And again, we're seeing this correlation between good teams, their best player on it, being in that MVP conversation. As we asked earlier about why is Mahomes? Well, the Chiefs were the top team. Now, not so much. We got these 2 teams. I think one to keep an eye on is Jared Goff. He's got some bigger games coming up. He has the opportunity to, they have a lot of trouble on defense, which we'll get to later with the Lions. But if it's going to be a shootout game and he's putting them over and he wins these big games, I think that that makes so much bigger of a difference later in the year for the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
Didn't we ask this question exactly a year ago? And we were talking about Brock Purdy as an odds-on favourite.
Yeah.
And then somebody called Lamar Jackson, and then somebody had to eat hot chip as a result.
Yeah.
We're in the same situation. We've got an odds-on
Bad
favourite,
game.
a few weeks to go, and I see the same reason. I'll say it now, Saquon does not win MVP. The only reason we're outpriced we are is because we've got liability.
Right.
December the 15th decides the MVP race. Tonight and next week determines if Jared Goff or Josh Allen. If the Bills go in and beat the Lions, that means Josh Allen's beat the Lions, the number one, the best team in the NFC, and they beat the Chiefs. And they hammered the Chiefs, the best team in the AFC. And then that's it. It's over. But I don't like taking 1 to 2 shots. So
No fun?
No. And I think tonight and next week gets Jared Goff over the line.
Wow.
9 to
So
1.
you don't think that 5 interception game will have any effect?
Did he win the game?
He did.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, I bet him at 55-1 at that point, too. So
Wow.
I'm hoping that gets through.
In my perspective, it certainly seems like this is Josh Allen's year.
I wouldn't rule out Lamar either. Just yet. A huge price.
Yeah. Again,
All right.
it's these big games. These big games matter a lot.
And if we get to it, when we get to it later, there's a reason. Lamar's still playing MVP level.
Yeah,
The Ravens' record is not what Lamar's performance is.
exactly. Okay, would the Falcons' game odds change if Atlanta made a quarterback change from Cousins to Penix?
Yeah, they would change. Kirk has not had the greatest games lately.
No.
And certainly there might be some injury stuff going on with there. We've seen him kind of having a lack of power. We've seen a couple just really passes that game that's like, that's not the Kirk Cousins we know of.
Yeah.
But what he does have is on-the-field experience, and that's what Penix lacks. Do I think that there's some sort of baked in of Kirk's underperformance in the market? Yes. So I would say this is about a 1 or 2 point difference between Penix and Kirk. And it's just because, I think a full healthy Kirk, we're looking at 3 to 4, maybe 5 points difference between the two quarterbacks. But it's really just about experience. I mean, we've seen this week in and week out. We've seen Caleb at the beginning of the year. Now experience matters a lot in this game. And when you don't have it, that's going to show on the field.
Right.
The answer is yes, but it would be a negative move.
Right.
I don't think it's a positive move because the first-time starters have a history of not doing great anyway. And to Joey's point, experience matters in the league. Kirk's got the experience. I think maybe you start seeing a shift thereafter after you've seen a performance from Penix. But they're still top of the division the last time I checked.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
Is there a revenge bump for player props when a player is playing their former team? We saw it last week with Jerry Jeudy and a couple other times this season.
I think there's certainly an action bump that leads to that, but not so much as like player performances at the end of the year. That's where you really get the bump of where they really like this team wants to get. We saw it with Gronk getting him the extra receptions or whatever, so they can get their player
incentives,
bonuses. But not as but there's certainly going to be an action bump, which is going to lead to a odds adjustment.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not from a compiling angle. No, we don't factor that in.
Yeah.
Customers do love to bet that angle. But, it's already a great media storyline. We're discussing it now. But what happens if you had to compile revenge games for Ryan Fitzpatrick because he's played every single for every single team in the league? So, it just becomes
bake
too
them into
much.
every week.
Yeah, and with free agencies, it's a revenge game every single week for every single player.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, not to pick on anyone specific, but how do you handle a quarterback that throws a lot of picks when it comes to game totals? And is there a fear of a pick six baked into the number because you assume he's going to throw one, or is that's not what's happening?
No. So it's already baked into your offensive and defensive efficiency. The biggest factor when compiling these kind of markets, though, with a quarterback with that tendency, is your anytime touchdown scorers and your last touchdown scorers. So generally, you're looking at the defense around 33 to 1 to score first and about 10 to 1 any time in the game, and you've got multiple players. You factor in because if you're on a bad team and you have a tendency, as we saw on Monday, if you have a tendency to throw the pick six and you're chasing a game late, and now, as you see, I think Philadelphia covered last year against Washington. They were doing all the hook and lateral, and then they ran it into the end zone. you do factor that in a little bit. So you always see that the favorite team's defense, special teams, should be a lower price to score last and a lower price for any time than you generally would see.
Yeah, and leave my boy Jameis alone. But
I used to love betting anytime touchdown scores defenses.
yeah, it's always fun. Anytime. Picks can come in all shapes and sizes, right? So it could be a drive star. It could be, we saw in both ways. We saw the pick six in that Monday night game, and we also saw him throw an interception in the end zone, which can happen during the regular time. So I think it can swing both ways. It could either end up being a long punt, if we throw it down the field in interception. So does Jameis throw some pick six? Yeah, but and it'll be factored, I think, not in like the actual game line because it does have that offensive defense efficiency, but more towards what he's saying is the kind of derivatives of that could happen.
And how good was his press conference after?
So good.
Oh, he's so good.
So good.
He's the best.
He
he's
is
just
the best.
media. He's a media darling.
He is. Where are you guys putting your money for the NFC West divisional winner? It's a close race there.
Seattle Sea Chickens for me. I think their defense is improving enough to get the job done in these final 5 games.
Craig, do you agree?
No. I'm
fast.
kind of cheating here.
Oh,
and
no.
you'll get to how I've cheated.
Oh, okay.
So Seattle have at Arizona, Green Bay, Minnesota, the Rams for the last 5 games, tough games. Rams have the Bills, the 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Sea Chickens for the last 5 games, tough. Cardinals play the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Panthers, banged up 49ers. 3 of those are very winnable. And we took some real respected business on Arizona this week, which tells me that they think that they're going to beat Seattle on the money line and the spread.
I had a question about that.
So there you go. That's why I go to Arizona.
We will see. Let's get into favorite Week 14 game for the total to go under. Craig, start us off.
There's no weather, so I've got no angle whatsoever. So I actually had to do some math this week.
Oh, no.
Chargers, Chiefs under 44 is my biggest difference on my numbers.
Yeah.
Well, Bears,
that.
49ers under 44. Bears defense pretty solid. 49ers, it's just a sad day to be a 49ers fan. Now you have Jordan Mason and McCaffrey out. Now you're going to Isaac Grendo.
Who?
Number one? Yeah, exactly. So I like that under 44.
Yeah.
I like it.
That.
Favorite Week 14 game for the total to go over, Joey?
Bengals Cowboys over 49 and a half. I think the Bengals over every week is just easy money. So.
Yeah. We'll get 30 of those at least.
Yeah. I had the Bengals Cowboys as well.
Wow.
The Bengals can't stop a bus. And the worst is for us, Monday Night Football is 12-4 over this year. And it's Monday night. It's
easy.
Write it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Tuesday won't be pleasant, I know that.
Favorite Week 14 team to cover the spread. This is a new one we're introducing this week.
I like it.
Yeah, Joey, start us off.
Dallas Cowboys plus 5.5. I think, the Bengals just, again, their defense is horrific. You have the Cowboys making us think about whatever they're making playoffs. Like, they're a good team now. They bought in. So I think just getting the points here at home, Monday night, plus 5.5 Cowboys.
I did like that one.
Yeah.
I'm going, because you asked the revenge question, my boy Kirk Cousins over the Vikings.
There you go.
I like it. Pick an NFL upset. Where are we going, Craig? Start us off.
That's what we did, didn't we?
That was the cover spread, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, money line.
I'm going to take both then.
Yeah,
All right.
me too. I took the Cowboys.
Easy. I think that might be cheating, but I like it.
It is cheating.
Let's build a 3-leg anytime touchdown scorer parlay. Craig, you're going to build one. Joey, you're going to build one. Craig, start us off.
I was 1 yard away from finally cashing twice.
I know.
So close.
I know.
Come
This
on,
is the
dude.
week, guys.
This is the week.
This is the week.
This has to be the week for a different reason. So I've talked so much trash in the office about the Jets all year.
Fair.
And now the Dolphins finally get the Jets. So this has to win because otherwise my life will be, and well deserved, everybody can give it back to me. We're going SGP.
Oh.
Tyreek Hill, Jonnu Smith, Jalen Waddle, 25-1. Let's hope the Dolphins hang a 70 burger on the Jets and then everybody can be quiet.
Yeah. I like it.
It's
That's a please.
I like it. Joey?
Since I can't pick 3 winners, I outsourced my picks to one of each of my traders here in the trading team. I have Mike Evans, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase. a little bit chalky for the
little
trading
chalky,
team,
yes.
but maybe it'll be the winner.
I know who picked Jamar
I like the
Chase.
strategy.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
See.
All right, guys. Well, if you like either of these, and I'm not going to lie, I like both of them, you can tail them on the Caesars Sportsbook app. Are you guys ready for some overreaction or nots?
Yeah.
Overreaction or not, Bo Nix should win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Overreaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's done enough, especially more than Jaden. But what I think overall, it's Jaden and Bo Nix, they're quarterbacks, I get it. But the offensive rookie of the year should be Brock Bowers and Brock Bowers only.
It's on my screen as well.
Yeah,
Are we both pointing?
Yeah,
Yep.
both pointing. He's breaking records as a tight end. He can play on any part of the field. Yes, he's on the bad Raiders team, but I think he should be the rookie of the year by far.
Bo Nix doesn't deserve it because he couldn't punch it in from 1 yard out to get my touchdown scorers in. He and Daniels, same passing yards, touchdowns. Daniels has a better quarterback rating. The difference between the two of them is Daniels has more yards on the ground, 300, more touchdowns and 2 less turnovers. But it is Brock Bowers. And the thing is, neither of those two quarterbacks have beat a winning team. The Raiders, of their 2 wins, have won against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's interesting that we all put the same thing. Even though he won't win, which we know, Brock Bowers is 100% the most impressive
He is
rookie.
the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, overreaction or not, Justin Tucker will be the reason the Ravens don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Overreaction. If you're relying on a kicker to get you a Super Bowl, then you don't deserve to make it.
Overreaction, but it's not
Ooh.
entirely his fault. Form is temporary, class is permanent. We say it all the time. His misses have cost the Ravens wins against the Raiders, the Steelers, and the Eagles. That's the difference between 11-2 and 8-5. It'll be the reason why it cost them home field advantage. But tell me one team in the AFC that wants to see Baltimore roll up in the playoffs in your home field. Nobody.
I'm at the
Nobody.
Chiefs might.
Don't matter. Nobody's going to want to see Derrick Henry and Lamar.
No.
Right. I don't know how I feel here. I think it might not be an overreaction. It doesn't seem like they'll move on from him. Do you think it's a mental thing?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll snap out of it in the playoffs?
All he needs is, I haven't looked at their schedule. They need to play somebody like, I don't know, the Jets, and then just keep kicking field goals for practice.
Right. And if Harbaugh really thought it was a big thing, he'd go out and get somebody.
Yeah, no, he's definitely backing him. Overreaction or not, the Buccaneers will win the NFC South.
Not an overreaction. I think the Falcons are fumbling the bag late in the year. And again, I want to go back to, I think Kirk is injured, that he's not really, they're being upfront about. So in that way, I think the Bucs are going to capitalize on that.
Pick them right now, -115 both teams. I think both teams go 3-2 the rest of the way. That gives Atlanta the tiebreaker because they beat the Bucs twice. I think the Bucs have the toughest schedule. They're going to play the Raiders, who haven't quit.
They have not quit yet.
Surprisingly.
As we said last week, bad teams do stupid things, and the Lions and the Chiefs benefited from bad teams. They've got the Chargers, the Cowboys, a Panthers team that are playing a lot better than what their record suggests.
For sure.
And the Saints might play spoiler last week as well. So I just think, and because I think Atlanta beats Minnesota this week, that's why I go Atlanta.
Okay. Overreaction or not, Bryce Young is not a bust.
Monstrous overreaction.
I got not an overreaction.
I
I want to stand up for him. Again, I think it's experience in this league that gets better. Is there part of me that said the Carolina Panthers are going to be better than expected and they weren't? Sure, that's probably a bias that's in there. But again, I think to define a bust, I think you need a little more time. And we saw, in the middle of the season, he got benched. He could have come out flat, or if he didn't want to play. Or go out there and try. He just would have not gone, to quit and be like, I'm moving on, try to get a trade or something out of there.
Yeah.
He stayed with the team and they got nothing to play for, but, they're going out there and trying. And so I think he has that grit in him. He's learning week by week. He has looked better the past couple weeks. Almost beat the Bucs. Probably should have beat the Bucs. They are running the ball more, but we'll see. They got a real team this weekend. We'll see if, against a very improving defense of the Eagles. So it'll be interesting.
Forget the Bucs. They almost beat the Chiefs. Probably should have beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He certainly looks better. Now, Craig, get all your hate out there.
Go ahead.
Ready?
I love everybody. $61 million in contract and signing bonuses. Cost 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 4th-round pick, DJ Moore, and you get 5 wins. Bust.
Yeah.
All right. Craig, would you say it's worth skipping Weather Watch this week?
It's killing me. It's my whole
It's supposed
week
to be it.
is
This is
ruined.
All right.
Yeah.
No weather.
It's just really cold in a lot of places.
Let's skip to game previews. We have a lot of divisional games this weekend, so let's start with tonight's matchup. We have Packers versus Lions, an NFC North matchup. The Lions are riding a league best 10-game winning streak, and with a win tonight, they could lock a playoff berth. What should we expect, Joey?
2 of the hottest teams in the league right now in the best division in the NFL face off on Thursday tonight. Lions are 3.5-point favorites. I think that's leaning towards 3 now, and are the best team in the NFL right now.
For sure.
We see, look at our Super Bowl odds. They are dealing with some injuries on defense, but do I think that Campbell's going to have everybody fired up and they have the defensive coordinator to overcome? Absolutely. High total here, which again goes along with that defense, and these are really 2 higher scoring teams. I lean the Lions here to get it done, as I believe the Lions are better, and I think the Packers are a little bit of a fraud. I'm holding off on it because the injuries, but yeah, I lean the Lions here to get it done.
Both played Thanksgiving. The Lions had the fright of their lives in the morning. Mm-hmm. The Packers, as predicted, won by 1 billion.
They did.
As soon as I saw the first punt at the start of the game, I was like, let's just switch this off.
Well, the Dolphins looked better in the second half.
When the game was over.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Lions are America's new team, or new America's team, or however you
For
want to word
sure.
it. Every week we put the spreadsheet together, we look at liability and handle, and they're always top of the tree when it comes to handle. They're the most popular team, and the over is always the most popular team as well. Like every single week we're praying for a Lions under.
So they have kind of overtaken that Chiefs kind of favoritism?
Oh, for sure, easy. Yeah. I mean, it was significant last week. This is the Lions season tonight and next week, and you'll define how well they are. And you know who'll be watching? The Philadelphia Eagles the next 2
Big
weeks.
time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Definitely.
Yeah. The injuries are the concern.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, if Detroit win tonight and they win next week, Goff's MVP. Congratulations. Get that ticket. You can buy me a beer.
Wow. That's a statement. Okay, next up, Seahawks, Cardinals, the top 2 teams in the NFC West. These 2 teams just faced each other 2 weeks ago. So why are the Cardinals favorites when Seattle really dominated that Cardinals offense?
You're going to see a lot of this in these kind of divisional matchups where what worked the first time isn't necessarily going to work the second time. But if we, I still think the Seahawks are better in this spot. I think if I look at one team with the Cardinals, they're trending downwards in my eyes, and where the Seahawks are really kind of building up that defense where we thought this, we talked about this early season. McDonald's really got these guys bought in, and he's got a really good system, and it didn't necessarily work first half of the season, but I think it's working now. Saw a meme yesterday of the old Call of Duty curse for Kyler Murray, so maybe that is in play as well. But yeah, I lean Seattle in this spot, but this is a divisional game. This can go either way.
Yeah.
It's going to look completely different probably than that game 2 weeks ago.
I should be wearing flip-flops because I said Cardinals will win the division. And I didn't learn my lesson last week when I said the Steelers had won 20 of the last 24 in Cincinnati. Seahawks have won 9 of the last 11 in Arizona. One of them was a tie, and the other one was an overtime loss. So, Seattle absolutely owns Arizona in their own yard. Kind of previewed this with the question earlier, but the sharp money's come for Arizona. That's probably why it's moved the number up.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, it'll be a game for me just to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, Chargers-Chiefs, an AFC West matchup. Chiefs are an obvious favorite, being undefeated at home where they'll play this game, but it's hard to believe this won't be a close game per usual. Craig, you like the under in this game. To be honest, I like the under any game Chiefs play this season. Start us off.
My number's nowhere near what the market came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I almost made this pick 'em basically. The Chiefs are completely overrated. I have the total far lower. The Chiefs can win the division with a win.
Yeah.
Tough game. We'll see how good the Chargers are. Eventually, we're all thinking the Chiefs' luck's going to run out. But they benefited from bad teams doing stupid things when it matters. And this is why the Chiefs win, because they execute when it matters the most. The best teams don't make those mistakes. The most interesting thing is if you're a Colts, Bengals, or a Dolphins fan, you are a Chiefs fan this week.
Ooh.
Yeah, big time.
Ooh.
Yes, round 2. Last time Chargers went up 10-0, didn't score another point.
They had injuries in that game, right? They were kind of depleted.
Probably, yeah.
It's the in-play curse when
The
the guys are
in-play
trading
curse.
the in-play games, and it's somebody's the
Anytime
dog's up 10-0. It's like, here we go.
Especially if-
We know how this ends.
Yeah, we know how this is.
Yep.
Chiefs again, coming off the luck with the Raiders.
Absolutely unreal.
Just unbelievable. They can't keep getting away with this. I don't like a side in this matchup. Again, it's just how many times are they going to get lucky for me to be on the wrong side of a ticket?
Right.
So yeah, I think it's going to be competitive. I don't think Harbaugh is going to let this get away from him. So if anything, I lean Chargers, but it's just really the Mahomes factor, and again, they execute, which I do think Harbaugh gets them to execute, but I don't know if they are there yet.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Last but not least, Bengals Cowboys. The down bad Bengals meet the down bad Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Guys, who's going to be the most down bad?
Yeah, two irrelevant, decent squads is really how this is really characterized. The Cowboys have obviously been scoring more. The Cooper Rush appears to improve weekly. They haven't sold out yet. We saw that on Thanksgiving. It was against the Giants, so let's slow down. The Bengals, on the other hand, have a great offense and a terrible defense. For this reason, I do like the Cowboys and over in this spot. I think the Bengals are still being priced like a top team when clearly their defense is a significant hurt to this team. So, yeah, I like the Cowboys in this spot.
Yeah, so do I. The Bengals are 1-7 straight up in Dallas all time. Their defense is awful. I don't think they even play defense anymore.
Yeah.
5.5 seems a mighty high number for a team that's not very good on the road Monday night. The over's the one here because the Monday night factor with all the teams going over and these two. We said it a couple of weeks ago when Rush came in. It felt like Dallas could still score. The reason they didn't win that game is because they went for it on the punt, the fake punt, their first game. They went for it at the goal line. Multiple things took points off the board, which you would factor in that these are scoring. So, I think the Cowboys all the way on Monday. I think they win straight up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into our game picks of the week. Craig, you have the standings as they stand right now. Do you want to give everyone a little overview?
Yeah, my shoulders are really sore. The other way around. I'm on 10, you're on 15, Joey's on 16.
I'm coming for you, Joey.
I'm holding on to that lead just by a thread.
All right, Joey,
Cindy's
start us
already
off.
looked up what the menu is.
Yeah, I need to.
I am going to take Oregon -3.5 this week. Big Ten title game. I think they're quietly the best team, better coach. Going to get it done. NFL-wise, I'm going over in that Bengals game just because it seems like free money.
It's too
over
tasty.
49.5 Bengals Cowboys.
All right, Craig.
Bengals, Cowboys over, obviously. I might have to start playing tactically soon, so I'm just going to let Joey go first, and I'll take the opposite way.
Have you guys ever chosen the same pick?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Not
so
on the pick.
either.
We landed on an
He
upset
steals all
every
my
once.
other questions.
Yeah.
If I can get a hold of that laptop.
Yeah. Georgia +2.5 versus Texas.
Yeah. Okay, I am going Bulldogs money line +115.
Well, you don't need to.
You don't need to take the points.
Take the points.
Okay, I'll take the points.
+2.5.
You guys, you have convinced me. Well, last time these two met, I took Texas, and what is the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
Yeah.
shame on me.
Yeah.
So I'm going opposite. And then NFL, I really like Panthers +12.5. So that's what we're going to do.
don't
That is
hate
just
it.
too high of a number for me.
Especially as you get into December and it gets cold and the ground game starts to be more predominant. So
It's kind of a sandwich spot for the Eagles, too, which is
Yeah,
fun.
Exactly.
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that is all I have for you today. Anything you'd like to say to the listeners before we end?
Good luck.
Yeah,
Good luck. Happy betting.
Yeah.
Bye.